Greetings, Guardians. Welcome back to Olympus Alliance. Today, the brand new Summer Glory season officially begins, and I have to say, yesterday, there was a lot of curiosity surrounding these new events. New timings, new mechanics, a completely different seasonal structure, and naturally, everyone wanted to know the same thing. Is it actually worth it? Well, Guardians, after taking a deep look at this first event, I think it's only fair to give credit where credit is due. Of course, whales will always find value in seasonal events that's part of the game, but what immediately stood out to me is that this first event doesn't feel like it was designed only for heavy spenders. Quite the opposite. If you're still building your account, still upgrading your heroes, working on your titans, missing talismans, or simply chasing relic shards for specific heroes, there's actually quite a lot here for free-to-play players and mid-level spenders. Now, one thing I don't want to do is throw all three events into a single video. They're connected, they share currencies, and if we try to explain everything at once, it quickly becomes confusing. So instead, we're going to do what we always do, break everything down properly. Today we'll focus entirely on Grand Caravan. Tomorrow we'll cover the remaining events. And once we've seen the complete picture, we'll tell you exactly where those Sigil coins should be spent inside the Caravan Hall. So, let's begin. The first quest is exactly how every seasonal event should start. You simply log in, that's it. No resources, no emeralds, no planning. Just logging into the game gives you adventure energy, season pass points, and adventure coins. The rewards themselves aren't game-changing, but that's not really the point. The important thing is that every single Guardian starts progressing from day one without having to spend anything. I actually like that approach because it means everyone immediately feels part of the event. From there, the event starts separating players a little depending on how they play the game. If you're someone who occasionally spends, Generous Soul is probably the first quest you'll pay attention to. And I have to admit, the return here is actually much better than I expected. Mew Soul Stones, Kendall Soul Stones, Skin Certificates, Mastery Crystals, Rune Spheres, fragments of the new Might Ring, and eventually, 1,000 Rune Spheres if you reach 25,000 VIP points. Obviously, this isn't aimed at free-to-play players, and that's perfectly fine. Every event should have something for spenders as well. The difference here is that people spending money actually feel rewarded beyond whatever they're purchasing. It finally feels like you're progressing your account while supporting the game instead of simply buying packs. But if there's one quest I think almost everyone will look at carefully, it's emerald spending and Guardians. Here's my advice. Never spend emeralds just because an event tells you to. If you're already planning to spend them, try to line it up with discount periods whenever possible. Let your emeralds work twice instead of once. As you continue through the milestones, the rewards become surprisingly attractive. Rune Stones, Rune Spheres, Drain Soul Stones, another Skin Certificate, plenty of adventure resources, and probably the most important reward of this entire event, Sigil coins. Remember those. Because these coins connect all three seasonal events together, and they'll become incredibly important once we reach the Caravan Hall. After that, things become much more relaxed. Opening your daily tower chests gives more Sigil coins, season pass progression, and adventure energy, while expeditions continue feeding exactly the same seasonal economy. It's not complicated, and that's something I appreciate. You don't need a calculator to understand how to progress. You simply keep playing the game, and the event keeps rewarding you. Then comes something many of us have wanted back for a long time. Secrets of Outland. Yes, Guardians. It's finally back. And I genuinely think this is one of those moments where the developers listen to community feedback. Opening Outland chests once again contributes toward event progression, giving you more Sigil coins, season pass points, and adventure resources. But, and this is important, that doesn't mean you should immediately empty your emerald bank. Timing still matters. Planning still matters. There will always be better opportunities to open large numbers of Outland chests, especially if discounts are running at the same time. So don't let the event rush you into making expensive decisions. Play smart. The same idea continues with artifact chests. Open them, collect your seasonal resources, and if you reach the higher milestones, you'll also continue progressing toward the new red equipment. It's another objective that fits naturally into what many players already do every week. And finally, Arena, 40 battles across 7 days. At first, that sounds like a lot, but when you actually break it down, it really isn't. If you only use your free arena attempts, you'll complete roughly half the objective, and honestly, that's not a bad result at all. If you decide to purchase the additional daily entries, then finishing all 40 battles becomes very realistic. Again, that's what I like about this event. It gives you choices. It doesn't feel like every player is forced into exactly the same path. Your progression depends on how you play the game. And that's exactly how seasonal events should work. Looking at this first event as a whole, I have to say, my first impression is genuinely positive. The rewards feel well distributed. The objectives are familiar. Nothing feels overly complicated. And perhaps most importantly, the event doesn't seem designed exclusively for one type of player. Whether you're free to play, a mid-level spender, or someone who invests heavily into the game, there are meaningful rewards waiting throughout the progression. Now, this is only the beginning. Tomorrow we'll move into the second and third events, and that's when everything starts connecting together. More importantly, we'll finally sit down inside the Caravan Hall and figure out exactly how those Sigil coins should be spent, because after taking a first look, I can already see several rewards that many Guardians are going to want immediately. Especially if you're building heroes like Berna. But that's a conversation for tomorrow. Now, I want to hear from you, Guardians. After seeing this first event, what's your first impression of the new Summer Glory season? Do you like the direction the developers are taking, or are you waiting to see the remaining events before making your final judgment? Leave your thoughts in the comments. We always enjoy reading your opinions, and they often lead to some great discussions within the community. If this breakdown helped you prepare for the first event, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss tomorrow's complete analysis of the remaining Summer Glory events. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and, as always, salute and friendship.